Baron Corbin is the king of the ring. Kane made not one but two returns. One as the mayor of Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs. Rusev has come back as the baby daddy of Maria Kanellis in the most oddest way possible. What a Raw. And to end it off, we seen not one but several appearances of Bray Wyatt with his mixture of character throughout the night. And we saw the show go off with the Firefly Funhouse song playing over and over and over and over and over and over again after he attacked not only Kane, not only the Demon Kane, the Mask Kane, but also Seth Rollins staring into his eyes with his song playing over and over and over and over again. What a Raw. What a Raw, guys. I mean, this Raw was all over the place. You could definitely tell that they have made changes. While everything is not always great, you could tell that there have been massive changes with the way that this Raw was. Baron Corbin, in which who I didn't want to win the King of the Ring, you know, I was heavily cheering for Chad Gable. Everybody wanted to see Chad Gable win the King of the Ring, but it was pretty obvious that they were going to give it to Baron Corbin, especially when about 85% or 95% of the King of the Ring winners have actually been heels. It hasn't been that many King of the Ring winners that have been baby faces. If you look in the record books, you'll know that most of the King of the Ring guys who won it have been heels. So it was pretty obvious that they were going to give it to Baron Corbin, but he had an incredible match with Chad Gable, as he's been having for the last 3 weeks. He's had a great match with Chad Gable tonight, which proves that he can work well with cruiserweight guys. He had a great match. It was a great triple threat match with Samoa Joe and Ricochet last week. He had a hell of a match with Cedric Alexander the week before. And when he very first qualified after beating The Miz, he had a decent match there. So every match that Baron Corbin has had lately has been really good. You could definitely tell that Baron Corbin is an upper mid carder now, and I like the position that he's in now better than what he was when he was the Constable, and when he was, you know, getting title opportunity after title opportunity, being shoved down people's throats, and they showcase way too much in the title picture. I like the position they have him in now, where he's just kicking ass, having good matches week after week, to the point where last week fans were giving him the Cena chant, where they were saying, "Let's go Cena, let's go Corbin, Corbin sucks," which is something they usually say for Cena, but now they're giving him the Cena chance. So for him to get the Cena chance and to, showcase wonderful matches with a man who's had a great amount of matches, Chad Gable. He had a good match. He had an incredible match with Andrade the week before last week. His match with Shane would have been better, but obviously that wasn't really the point of the match. But he had an incredible match with Andrade. I wish he would have had more time with Shelton Benjamin in their match, but I think if they were given more time, it could have been a lot better. But Chad Gable has really made a huge name for himself, and people like to compare him to Kurt Angle because that's the type of moves he does. But at the end of it, I would say Chad Gable is just being Chad Gable, but he does use a lot of Kurt Angle arsenal in his book. But Chad Gable is an incredible athlete, and I was really rooting for him to win, and that did not happen. But hey, I mean, you got to give it to Baron. Might not like him. Everybody might not be on the Baron bandwagon, but he has been having an incredible amount of matches. I mean, the man has been, for the last 3 weeks, he's been having some good TV matches, some really amazing TV matches, and there's just no denying it. His TV matches have been incredible. And the match he had with The Miz is not the first time that we've seen him have a good match with The Miz. They actually had a really good match at Survivor Series 2 years ago, back when Baron Corbin was the United States champion. So, we've seen Baron Corbin showcase stuff like this, but to see more out of him is just incredible. So with Chad Gable, taking nothing away with Chad Gable, I hope they continue to use Chad Gable. I hope this isn't the last we see of Chad Gable because he had an incredible match right there. The King of the Ring, Baron Corbin, didn't want it, but hey, we all kind of knew it was going to happen. Then for two, like I said, he had a return from Rusev. I'm just going out from the key points here. You know, the return from Rusev. We saw Luke Harper return last night at not Clash of Champions to help Eric Rowan, and which was very unexpected because I didn't think Luke Harper was going to come back, and he did. We saw that happen. You know, you saw Bayley and Sasha Banks beat Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss after Alexa Bliss got hurt. I don't know if she's legitimately hurt or if that was just part of the story, but we'll have yet to find out. Hopefully she's not legitimately hurt because then they would have to drop the titles. Um, they did beat them, so that would technically put them in the title hunt, but they probably won't do it. Uh, you saw two appearances of Kane. One was Kane as Glenn Jacobs, where he actually pinned R-Truth as Glenn Jacobs, and then the other was Kane as the Mask, where he came out later in the night as his actual self, Glenn Jacobs, and the other was Kane as the Mask, where he actually pinned. Uh, we actually pinned R-Truth later in the night. So tonight was a heck of a Raw. You know, the night's show started off with Seth Rollins, you know, talking about his match with Braun Strowman, and then going on to talk about the Fiend Bray Wyatt, only for Bray Wyatt to come out of the Firefly Funhouse the first time, then to come out again, putting pictures of the people who he's attacked, saying that, you know, he needs to basically attack more guys, then to come out at the end of the night and attack Kane, in which many people wanted him to attack The Undertaker, and that didn't happen, but he did attack Kane's brother, Undertaker's brother, which could be a sign, you know, of things to come between this Undertaker and Bray Wyatt thing that people have been wanting to see as far as him being a Fiend, not so much as their first time around. But tonight was insane, guys. This was definitely a crazy Raw. You know, we saw the OC, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Kurt Anderson defeat the Viking Raiders and Cedric Alexander. Once again, Cedric got pinned by AJ Styles, only to get beat up and attacked after the match along the Viking Raiders. Oh man, this was definitely crazy, Raw, folks. We saw a little package of the AOP coming back. I mean, the returns right now is just insane. And I find it just ironic how all these returns are happening simultaneously at the same time. All these guys that we haven't seen used on TV in months, all these guys that we haven't seen a glance of, are all of a sudden making these returns. Like, this is absolutely insane. First, you saw the return of First, we saw the return of Kane as himself, as his actual self, Glenn Jacobs. Then we saw him come back later on as the Masked King. We saw the return of Rusev. We saw the return of the AOP coming back. They're not on the roster yet, but they will be coming back soon. A team that hasn't been used ever since. Excuse me, guys. The last time they were seen was a Super Showdown, but the last time they were actually used was goes all the way back to the beginning of this year before one of them got injured. It was the last time they were actually used. And I tell you, these returns, man, it's just absolutely insane. With all these returns that we've seen tonight, and even Luke Harper coming last night, I mean, you start to hope and wonder why all of a sudden this happened. It's pretty obvious why it's happening. It's pretty obvious why all these returns started happening out of nowhere. But my goodness, this was a really good Raw. You know, I have to say this Raw was really decent. I think the ending to this Raw was one of the best endings, you could have possibly got with the Firefly Funhouse playing over and over again, sounding happy and then getting dark, sounding happy and then getting dark again, sounding happy and getting dark. I mean, that that is crazy, man. I tell you, um, I just hope to goodness. Oh man, this is going to be interesting how far they go with this feud and Seth Rollins feud. Especially this feud seems a lot more interesting than their feud back in 2017, leading to the Great Balls of Fire. You know, this one seems a hell of a lot interesting than that one was, especially with the way how he's playing tactics with Seth Rollins this time and actually coming out and attacking and stuff. It really seems a lot more interesting and freaky than that one was. I mean, guys, this was a hell of a Raw from top to bottom. You know, I have to say almost every match, delivered. I mean, the 6-man tag with the OC. And Cedric and the Viking Raiders, that was a hell of a match. Even though Cedric took yet another loss, it was a hell of a match. The Rey Mysterio and Cesaro match was a hell of a match. Even though Cesaro lost once again, it was still a good match he put up with Rey. Cesaro's a hell of a talent. Cesaro's a hell of a talent, and it's sad to see him losing so much week after week when he's actually in the match. But Cesaro is just an incredible athlete. He's amazing. Like, I've grown to respect Cesaro so much more and more every time he's in the ring. He's an incredible athlete. He had a great match with Rey. It was an incredible match they had together. Rey picked up the victory. Um, almost every match delivered. That was a good match. The Chad Gable and Baron Corbin was an excellent match, which you pretty much knew that Baron Corbin was going to win, but they had you think for a glance second that Chad Gable was going to win, especially when he locked in the ankle lock and kept Baron Corbin away from the ropes, only for Baron Corbin to grab the ropes. You really thought that Chad Gable was going to win, but that was an excellent match right there. Um, you know, Sasha Banks and Bayley, their match with Nikki Cross and Alexa, even though Alexa only participated at the first half of the match, that was a good match. Then the aftermath of it, when Becky came out with the chair, and they were trying to hit each other with the chairs, only for Bayley to try to come out and double team on Becky, only for Charlotte to come out to help Becky's aid. That was a little good run they had there. I mean, everything they had tonight, even as stupid as the pregnant ankle seems, the first with Maria saying that first she said that the baby daddy was Ricochet, then Mike Kanellis tries to fight him, to fight for his pride, fight for his wife, and then loses. Then she says that it's really not him, only for Rusev to come back, and then he ends up losing again. I mean, I don't get the point of that. That just made absolutely no sense to me. But if you're in Mike Kanellis' shoes and this is the type of booking they're going to give you, I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, you had R-Truth lose the title to Glenn Jacobs, the real name of Kane, only to win it back, only for Kane to come back at the end of the night. I mean, everything delivered here. I really have to say Raw was really interesting tonight. I haven't been able to do videos of Raw or SmackDown like that because of school, but I'm definitely still keeping in touch with the guys. With college, I've been working really hard, but I've been still keeping track of Raw and SmackDown live. So that's all I'm going to say, guys, with this video. I'm going to wrap it up. Sign off, Raymaster Flex. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Raw was a great show. They thought it was a really good show tonight, especially the ending to it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in everyday peace.